Welcome, adventurers! I'm Goose.
And Turnip.
And today we're going to talk about the Wood Elves, because we just talked about the High Elves, so we're going to jump right into it. As far as height goes, about the same height, pointy ears, physically darker skin. They range from like a light auburn or a light hazel to deep dark browns, very earthy tones, and they're often very freckled. They often have a lot of spots, and sometimes they have green freckles. They also can have green streaks of hair. They usually have brown or black hair, or bright pink. They can occasionally be blonde, but there is a chance they have piptith hair, which is the term for it, which is bright pink flowy hair. It's distinctly bright pink and wavy or flowy. But
it's named after the fruit from the trees.
Yes, it is the piptith fruit. The hair is named after the piptith fruit, which is bright white but with pink flowy petals and leaves where it flowers. The fruits often decorate the trees. They are a very powerful magical fruit and very important to the people. But apparently, being out in the woods with those fruits naturally around you has some interesting effects. It definitely helped with some of how they developed and changed from being high elves. The very first group of wood elves was in fact high elves who traveled into the woods. One more distinct thing about their physiology, they do not glow all the time like high elves. Even though they are direct descendants, firstly, they have no god. They have no actual wood elf god, as far as anybody knows. There's no actual wood elf god because they were descended directly from high elves. They evolved without being changed by any outside force. That said, their skin only glows in direct, strong moonlight, and there are many wood elves who don't have glowing skin, whose skin never glows, like Fiara from the Phantom Soul Assassin. Aside from that, talking about their society, how it started and developed, the High Elves originally had a farming society. It was very early on that their leader was able to show them how to grow crops, so they never really had a hunter-gatherer phase. Meaning the elves the wood elves specifically went backwards as far as societal development goes. They went from a farming society to a hunter-gatherer society, teaching themselves how to survive in the wild by killing animals and skinning them. Specifically the first group back in about the year 1000, it was probably a little bit earlier, but the first group was high elves who went into the woods and started going at it. They built a small town, and from then on, their town never exceeded, this is a legend among high elves and wood elves, is that the first wood elf town never exceeded 100 people. 100 wood elves alone, ever. And they kept that tradition up with every town they built. Most of their towns are very small, definitely over 100 people in most of them now, but they're always kept to a low population, and when the population of wood elves gets too big, they tend to leave and move on and build a new one, or go out exploring somewhere else. Wood elves don't like to be packed in. It's a very common thing with their culture to not want to be bunched up in close quarters, except at parties. Other than that, they like their space, and they like to be out in the quiet, in the wild. It's a very common thing that wood elf villages can be dead silent most of the time because people don't talk and ruin the natural beauty of it. If they want to talk, they stay inside or they go somewhere else. Wood elf society was built around experiencing life. All the elf races are based on pleasure, but these guys aren't based on physical pleasure in the slightest. Everything they do, or everything that fulfills them spiritually, fulfills them through experiencing new things, experiencing life to the fullest, going out and living, learning new things, knowing things, being knowledgeable means you've experienced a lot, and that is a very high standard for a lot of wood elves. Very old wood elves are very knowledgeable and very open about sharing their knowledge. They like giving it out to other people. That is how they bring happiness to the world. And along with that, a lot of their knowledge is very direct and useful, very, what's it called? It's knowledge that is readily usable. It's not something that, interesting factoids. They don't tend to have little factual knowledge. They have a lot of in-depth knowledge about how things work and how to use them. Practical knowledge. Applicable as well. But that's how their society functions. That's how they roll. They go out into places, make a little town, and when they're done in that town, they leave it. If somebody else takes it, great. If it gets washed to the ocean, they don't care. All they care about is experiencing life, and if they die experiencing it, they hope somebody learned something before they left. But that is all for Wood Elves for now. Farewell, adventurers. Welcome to Dadoran, and I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. Other than that, in the links there will be a link to the Phantom Soul Assassin book on Wattpad that you can read for free and learn about Fiara, the adventurous Wood Elf, as well as a lot about Wood Elf society. You get to see a lot of their towns in the book. There's a link to the Patreon if you really want to support us. If you want to support the Dadoran experiment as it is, or not, you can support us by watching this video. And I hope you enjoyed. The next video will be about the Dark Elves.